It is about 3 degrees down here on the old homestead, and believe me, it's freezing. I think my next task is going to be to put the glazing into the summer house, but I'm not doing it today. I've come down today because I was waiting for a parcel to turn up, and it's arrived. It is strawberries, and I'm trying this year for the first time. I think I've tasted them in the past. I'm trying pine berries, which is a yellow strawberry. The wind is starting to pick up and the gate's closing by itself at the moment. Plus I'm not dressed, so I'm not putting them in today. I've got my best trousers on. Oh, there's a little robin. Nice to, oh, there's 2 of them. Maybe they've got a, what you call it, a nest. Anyway, I was waiting for a hedge to turn up, a bare-rooted hedge. So the guys turned up with the parcel, knocked the door, threw me the parcel and said, "Have a good day, mate, we're off." And they went. So I opened the parcel and it was 4 toasters. Or at least 1 toaster and something else, but it looked like 4 toasters on the first look. So despite the weather, I stood out in the middle of the street and waited, because I knew they'd have to come past my house 2 minutes later. So I stood there. And about 10 minutes later they came and I said, "Hey, give me the wrong parcel." Popped down to the other street and get my parcel back. So they did. And then as they drove off, I thought, I wonder if that's the right van. Or have I just stopped a random van and just given them a toaster? But 10 minutes later they came back and I've now got my parcel, so I'll show you that. One of the other reasons why I came down is I could see on the security camera there was a sound of metal, and now that I'm here I can see where the problem is. Because obviously we want to be good neighbours, but it's this bit here. This is blowing in the wind. Is that because it's broke? I think it's because it's broke and it needs securing on that piece of wood. Okay, that is a task to go on the list, which is not an emergency, but it would be nice to do it so the neighbours don't complain. Not that they have. I think it's been like this for quite a few years. But yes, it is a freezing day today. They say it's going to get colder with a possibility of snow. And then it will start to warm up. Ah, look, my parcel's blown off. So this is it. So this hedge will go all the way down here and act as a shelter belt against the winds. And the advertisement said this was an all year round interest hedge, and that it was also good for the bees. Not for the bees, for the birds. Maybe the bees can come along as well. And as you can see, a bit of a prickly. Oh, those are some of my strawberries that have fallen out. Right, I'll put them in the shed with the rest. So, what have I got? I've got hawthorn, 10 hawthorn, 5 crab apple, 5 wild Scotch rose, 5 common hazel, 5 common pear, 5 common rose guelder, I think that's how you say it, 5 cherry plum, 5 wild privet, 5 buckthorn, and 5, oh no, that's all. So it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 30, 50 plants. And they suggest that I do a double row. There you go, the camera's going a bit wild. They suggest I do a double row in order to get a good hedge. Now, they're still quite damp, but I will give them a squirt of water, and my plan is to plant them tomorrow. And I think that will look rather spectacular as I'm sat on the bench there, looking out across the flowers against a backdrop of a hedge which will grow to about 5 foot over the years. I'm thinking about it now. If I've got too many, if I start in this corner and work my way down, if I've got too many, then I can start coming up the other side, because the only thing that's going to go in that corner will be a shed in time. Gotta think ahead, see. So if it disguises the shed, then that's all well and good. When I was down here yesterday, I think it wasn't as cold as this, but just as I was about to go home, I could see in the sky there seemed to be a bird of prey. So I don't know whether it was a buzzard or a falcon or a hawk. See if you can tell me. Right, like I said, it's a bit chilly down here, so I'm going to head home. These plants now and the strawberries will just sit in the shed where it's not as cold as if I just left them outside, because they do say it's going to be freezing tonight, and it's never a good idea to plant anything if it's going to be frosty 24 hours or even 48 hours after you've planted them. Always try and plant them when there's a few days of non-frost, otherwise it could damage them. So I'm going to get these in the shed, then I'm going to head home into the warmth and bosom of a nice Welsh cottage. Oh, the water's not as high. Last night when I looked at the live stream, it sounded quite fierce. Right, pop them in there, they'll be okay for a day or two. I don't actually know what the forecast is for tomorrow. I'll check now. Oh, let's have a look. Weather for tomorrow is rain. No, fog. What sort of weather is that? Fog and fog all day, 2 degrees, mist in the afternoon. Then Sunday, sunshine for 2 hours in the morning. Right, let's head home anyway. I can feel that wind kicking up. On the live feed, there's been a discussion about what type of birds are down here. And we've got coal-tit, blue-tit, grey-tit, robin, dunnock, blackbird, house sparrow, siskin, chaffinch and wood pigeon. So while we've all been doing a bit of bird watching down here, I've just been strolling around the site, collecting the wood, putting it all in one place, and just having a think. And I do believe with gardens you need to get a feel for them, and the garden will speak to you and say, a bed here would do us proud. And that's what I've been doing today in this last 45 minutes. So let's just start up here. I've put a plank of wood down because obviously I'm not going to do 12 foot of leeks all the way from one side to the other. So I've put the plank in the middle, and up on this top corner here is going to go the strawberries. I've got about 40 or 50. And I thought on the other side, which we've got moles on this side, all these little humps. That is a new hump there. That was made yesterday. Good thing about the 24/7 camera is, we can just watch and see the holes being pushed up from the earth. And I was speaking to a local gardener, and he said he's had them for about 50 years, and they don't do that much damage. They just make the place look a bit untidy. But he takes the compost from the top of the mound and uses it as seed sowing compost. So on this side, up here, I'm thinking about putting the rhubarb. And also, you don't particularly want to be walking on freshly turned over soil because you don't want to compact it. So putting a floorboard down like that, scaffolding board, actually does a lot of good. So I've put a board here to try and work out areas, and this area here was always going to be for the fruit, and in fact all the fruit is up here in pots waiting to go in. And if we didn't have frost forecast tonight, I would do this, but at least now I can see where the smaller tasks are, and all the small tasks build up to a big one. So this will be the fruit garden. It's not enough space because I want raspberries, so I've got to think of somewhere else for the raspberries to go, because I want these two big beds to be for vegetables. And I've had a think. So the asparagus will be going down from the fence there, from the archway, all the way to this board. And above it will be a structure for the grape. One grape on one side, another grape on the other side. And then this section here, this will be a bed as well. Slightly on the slant, because I don't want to take away space in order to walk into the pathway. So that will be a bed here of flowers. And I found out that moles do not like the smell of daffodil bulbs. So daffodil bulbs in there, maybe 1,000 of them. Elderflower, from a pagan tradition, you always put your elderflower at the opening of your garden for added protection. So that will go there. Now, if you can see here, there is a stone. There it is. And that row of stones goes all the way up to the top. Now, on the left-hand side, I've already got some fruit trees that I've put in. But in this corner here, I'm going to build not a shed, but a few bits of corrugated iron, and maybe a two-sided shed, because the one side will be the fence with a roof on top for the solar panel to go on, because the solar panels, I found out, need to face towards the mountain for a full effect. There will be a table at the back, and this will be where I can bring my fruit and veg and prepare it before I take it home. So that's sort of an outside kitchen. So outside kitchen, flower bed. Now this space looks quite big, but don't forget the greenhouse will be going here, and in front of the greenhouse there will be a flower bed, only something 2 foot, 2.5 foot. But I do find it is good just to stand in the garden and let it speak to you. So one flower bed there. Walk along, all this will be space to stand on. Walk around to the bench there. The hedgerow, plant that next week hopefully. I might have to move the rows a bit further into this bed. And putting these boards down, people are saying on the live, it's helping them visualize what's going on here, which is, I've had this in my head for about, well, ever since I took on the plot. cold frame needs to be done as well. So we're just waiting for the nice weather. And the good thing about putting boards down without fixing them, because this path here, these boards have to go down halfway into the ground. And I've got wood at the bottom in order to make pegs. Is you can put stuff down, and if you think, I don't like the feel of that, it doesn't feel right, then you can just move it. Because I did contemplate putting my strawberries over there, but I thought that's a lot of space just for a crop that doesn't last that long. I've still got loads of leeks to harvest. So yes, put out a few little planks of wood, move them around and live with it for about a week and go, oh, that doesn't feel right. When I come through the gate, I feel as if I'm walking into the flower bed. So we can slightly move the posts, and it's all about the flow. It's got to flow like a good cup of tea. And that's where I'm going now, because it's getting a bit chilly. It is only 4 degrees. Right, let's head home and pop that kettle on.